Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. I'm Rob Booker, best-selling author of Adventures of a Currency Trader and Trading by Faith. Welcome to the broadcast today. Happy to see you here. If this is your first time, well, welcome. I can see here that I've cut off the top of my head on today's broadcast. That's pretty interesting. Why don't we back this up a little bit and maybe not cut off the top of my head? There we go. Hey everybody, nice to see you here. Glad to have you along for the ride. Leave a comment, let me know where you're from. Don't forget, subscribe to the YouTube channel, that's a huge help. Today I want to talk about one of the single most common characteristics in all of traders, and that is, as many of you already know, impulsiveness. If I could characterize every unsuccessful trader I've ever met, or every unsuccessful period of trading in my life, it would be marked by impulsive trading. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. So just this morning I was looking at a US dollar Canadian dollar chart, and it looked a lot like this right here. And I was looking at the chart and I noticed that price had just been rocketing upward, and I was really excited. I was instantly excited and motivated and interested, and I could feel it from the soles of my feet to the crown of my head, to the crown of my crazy brain. I wanted to sell this. I wanted to go in the opposite direction, and I wanted to sell it immediately. I wanted to jump in, and it started to move down, and this movement started to go down. So I wanted to sell it, and then it started to move down, and I automatically had this giant amount of FOMO, or fear of missing out. Instant death, right? It's exactly the wrong thing. And sometimes the worst thing that can happen in a moment like this is I can turn on the screen, jump into a trade, and then all of a sudden it can, and then it can work out. And if it's profitable, then it's just terrible. Then that's terrible because it's taught me bad behavior. So what I want to do today is we talked on Sunday and yesterday about the principles of successful trading, having a clear vision for what I want, waiting patiently for the setup, and then really holding on for the big win so that my wins over time can outweigh any mistakes that I make or any losses that I have. So today I want to talk about combating and dealing with impulsiveness, a 2 or 3 step program on how to deal with impulsive trading, because I know that some of you probably deal with this. I know that I do, I know that I struggle with it, and I know that you probably have as well if you're watching this video. It's probably the number one reason traders end up blowing up their accounts. They'll do things like trade something before it's completely ready, and then by the time it is completely ready, which this eventually became, it did finally become ready for a drop, but it was way after the fact. I wanted to get in here, it rose all the way up to here. Well, sometimes by the time it finally gets all the way up to here, and that's the real trade, I'm already underwater because I took stupid trades down here. And so this isn't the big opportunity that it could have been otherwise. This just ends up being a way for me to help myself get out of trouble instead of being a way for me to actually take a profitable trade. So I want to talk about a 2 or 3 step program for how to deal with some of this impulsiveness and some of the problems that occur. So number one, you've got to make a decision before any of this happens. You and I have to decide before any of these things occur what we're going to do about it when we get in a situation that tempts us to get into a bad trade. And I remember watching a video when I was a young kid in the LDS church, and I was growing up, and we would go to church like twice a day on Sunday or whatever. And I remember there was this video they showed us when we turned 11 or 12 years old, and it was some, really old white dude sitting around a campfire with a bunch of kids, which would probably be viewed as inappropriate these days. Everybody's too sensitive. Okay. And anyway, he was talking about when kids get into situations where there's drugs or alcohol or things around that they shouldn't take part in or that could lead to problems. And he said, you got to make a decision before the situation occurs. You have to decide what you're going to do before you get there. You can't get there and have all of the temptation surrounding you and then think that you're going to be really disciplined about the way that you deal with the issue. Now, I know this might seem like this is all goody, whatever, whatever. However, this made a huge impact on my life at a very early age. And this made a huge difference in my life, that I would decide ahead of time what I would do when I got into a situation that tempted me to do something that was not going to be helpful to me, when I wanted to trade what I wanted most for what I wanted right now. Okay, so I still made a bunch of bad decisions, as all of us do, and I'm a totally imperfect individual, but this had a giant impact on my life, and it has an impact on my trading. Today, when I sat at my computer and I wanted to take that US dollar, Canadian dollar trade, I had made a decision earlier this week. Been thinking a lot about growing my smaller trading account, for those of you that don't know this already, from $1,900 to $10,000. And I've already decided, excuse me, that when I'm faced with a decision or an opportunity to trade impulsively or jump into a trade, I've already decided that what I'm going to do is stop and wait at least 90 seconds. So it's the 90-second rule. If I can wait 90 seconds, step back from the trade, in 90 seconds I can think about, well, am I getting a really good price on this trade? What's the real probability of this trade's success? Does this trade really follow the rules that I've laid out for entering a trade? And in 90 seconds I can bring myself back down to earth. It doesn't take that long to do it, but in 90 seconds I can do that. I can get that done. Just throwing my stuff all over the place here. All right, so that's number one, making a decision. So we'll put that over here off to the side. So number one, make a decision ahead of time about what you're going to do. Number two is imagine or visualize clearly, and spend time doing this on a daily basis. Imagine or visualize on a daily basis what your life would be like if you just impulsively did everything that you wanted to do in your trading account. If you just lived like a total monkey and you just did everything that you wanted to do the minute that you wanted to do it, and you acted impulsively. Imagine what life would be like if that's what you did. Your trading account would be a total mess, Rob Booker. That's what I think. And I spend some time thinking about, what if I just jumped in on trades impulsively all the time? What if I just didn't have any rules and didn't wait for a setup? And what if I just didn't even care about thinking clearly and I just acted like a complete banana head, monkey-brained dummy, and I did whatever I wanted all the time? Well, that would be absolutely ridiculous. And I would most likely lose everything by doing that. And I can clearly imagine in my mind, and I make it vivid. Here's what the path looks like if I just do impulsive stuff all the time inside of my trading account. All right, so this helps me realize that there are consequences. In the moment when I'm taking a trade, I want a dopamine fix, right? My brain wants to press the button and wants to play poker. It wants to play that game of poker where the cards are, when you watch it on TV and there's those cards face down on the table, and then the card flips over and we find out if the guy with the sunglasses is the winner or the guy that wears the headphones is the winner or whatever. That's a dopamine rush, waiting for that card to turn over. And that's what traders are looking for in a lot of cases. Impulsive traders want that card to turn over and find out what happened. It's a game, it's a lottery ticket. And we get excited by finding out what happens. But imagine what would happen if all you ever did was use no strategy and you just kept chasing after that dopamine fix. That's going to be bad. That's like a drug habit. That's bad. Nobody wants anything to do with that. And I can realize that the consequences of doing that is not growing my account from $1,956 or whatever it is right now. It's not growing that account. It's losing that account completely. Okay, the third thing is You could do one of these two things. You can make your trading performance public and show your account in public, which is what I do, so that if I take a stupid trade today, I've got to show it to you later on today because you see inside of my account on these videos, and I have my FX book account that shows my performance publicly, so I can be publicly shamed by making stupid decisions. That's one way to do it. Or you could have a friend that you reach out to in those 90 seconds. You could have a friend that you reach out to and you say, hey friend, hey Joe, hey Susan, I'm struggling with impulsiveness in my trading today. I need to stop. I had a friend who eventually went to work for Goldman Sachs as a trader who was a student of mine. And what he did was he gave his sister the login to his trading account. And she could log him in for an hour every day for him to set up, take, and look at his trades. And then she would log him out and change the password to the trading account. And then if he wanted to log back in, he had to ask her for permission. And then she would log in and make sure everything was looking okay. And if you think that sounds strict and that's a lack of freedom for this person, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to this guy. It was absolutely fantastic. It was a phenomenal improvement in his trading. He eventually went to work for Goldman Sachs as a trader because he had so much discipline. Is that pretty awesome or what? That's pretty fantastic. Anyway, speaking of Goldman Sachs, speaking of banks, speaking of analysis and whatever else, I'm thinking of doing, and I did one of these yesterday. I don't know if you want to watch it or not, but I'm thinking of doing some fundamental analysis. I actually did a test YouTube video yesterday and a test email where I looked at a 72-hour economic outlook. And if you're interested in taking a look at that, I'll post it later if I get enough people that say they want to take a look at that. So leave a comment on Facebook, at me on Twitter, at Rob Booker, or leave a comment after the video's over on YouTube and let me know. Or just let me know live on YouTube. I'll walk over to the computer and we can check on my account and we can take a look at how things are going. And I just want to share with you just a couple of additional trading related things. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to walk over to my computer and I'm going to show you the setup that I wait for so you can see what it is that I've decided that I'm looking for in advance. And number two, I forgot what number two is, so it doesn't matter. I can't even remember. Okay, so this is what we're going to do is we're going to move down here and you're going to see my trading account. And then I'm going to move the camera around and hopefully you'll be able to see. There we go. Excellent. Come on over to my trading account. Glad you're here, everybody. I forgot, I got to grab the little video thing so I can see what I'm doing. And switch the cameras around if I need to. Of course, my computer went dark right at that moment. That's pretty funny. All right, so here we are, back over at the desk. Wow, I'm really cutting my head off today. I don't know if that's a theme. All right, let me show you what I did. It'll just take me a moment to get set up here. And I'm going to pull up, if I can, your comments as we go along here. Okay, I've got your comments up. I'm sure most of you don't care if I show all of your comments, although I'm not seeing any come through right now. I'm sure they'll pop up later. Okay, let's take a look at the account. As all of you know that watch these, I have a few accounts. We talked about that yesterday, so I'm not going to review it again. So here's the chart I was looking at this morning when I was really excited. I was looking at this US dollar, Canadian dollar 60-minute chart, and it started to drop, and I was like, oh, it's going to fall to the weekly pivot, and there's an interest rate decision tomorrow, and I'm super excited about selling it. And I just jumped on over here to my trading account, which is now at 1,953. And I was like, oh, I'm going to trade these 3080s. I'm going to do this. And I stopped for like 90 seconds. And I was like, what the heck am I doing? Like, what am I thinking? Like, that's not even a setup. So let me show you the setup that I do look for. I don't know if we'll find one on the dollar Canadian, but maybe we'll get lucky and find one. I'm pretty sure we can find one in the British pound Australian dollar. Remove all the drawing tools off of the chart. Yeah, here's an example. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for multiple bearish divergences on the 4-hour chart. And I'm looking for 5 time frames to go overbought or oversold on the 4-hour chart. Sorry, I wasn't showing you my screen. But this is the British pound Australian dollar. And there's 3 divergences, 1, 2, and 3 bearish divergences. And I'm simulating the indicator here that 5 time frames were overbought all at the same time. And that's one of the things that I'm looking for in a trade. Now, one of the things I'm looking for in a trade is the day of or the day before economic news, in particular, interest rate decision stuff. I'm looking to trade a breakout in either direction, up or down. And tomorrow we have an interest rate decision coming out of Canada. And I want to set myself up so I can benefit if price moves up or down. Well, it's too early to do this trade. It's too early to do it. But I'm really excited about setting it up, and I'm in particular excited because I think that interest rates may go up in Canada, and that's not priced into this current chart. The Canadian dollar's been weakening over the course of the last week or so. As the dollar strengthens, the Canadian dollar weakens. So I'm thinking I want to sell the dollar Canadian, and I just got excited. I really wanted to do it immediately. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to be impulsive about it. And luckily, I'm not. All right, let's see if there's any. Wayne's here. Marco's here. Pradeep is here. Excellent. Nice to see you all here. Glad to have you along for the ride. So that's a little mini lesson on how to beat impulsiveness. I hope you have enjoyed today's broadcast. If you have, I've got more videos for you to watch here on the YouTube channel, and you can always subscribe to the YouTube channel, at one of these places, below or above or whatever. Thanks for being here, everybody. Happy Tuesday. If any of you are interested, I've got that fundamental analysis that I can post. I'm not sure it'll be interesting to anybody, but I'd love some comments on it anyway. I love you all. Have the best day ever. Bye for now.